going to talk about our salt lights, our salt lamps. They're becoming really popular and you're seeing them everywhere, but do you know why? The great thing about salt lamps is not only are they a gorgeous accent to your home, they actually have a medicinal benefit, and that's why we have them here. Much like the ocean, if you've ever visited the ocean or a waterfall, that peaceful vacation feeling you get, the science behind that, aside from being away from work, is that the water is actually putting out negative ions, and that's affecting our body because we're made of salt and water. That's going to help with anxiety, depression, your circadian rhythm, sleep. And these salt lamps, what they're doing, when they are warmed up, they are attracting the water molecules out of the air and releasing a negative ion and doing the same thing for us. So not only are they helping with emotional well-being, these will cancel out the radiation, the EMF fields from your electronics, your Wi-Fi, laptop, cell phone, so you're not exposed to that. They're actually doing studies now that is leading to headaches and migraines and sleep problems and anxiety and depression because we're exposed to so much radiation in our lives. So it's going to cancel out that. What most people buy them for, though, is their air purifying qualities. When negative ions are released, they kill the static charge from everything that's in the air. If you've ever seen the light shining in through the window, all those particles floating, that's allergens and dust mites and mold and viruses and animal dander, and you're breathing that stuff in. For someone like me who suffered from asthma their whole life and allergies, that's a big deal, and that affects my lungs. So by putting these in my home, in my bedrooms, next to my bed, office desk, wherever I am the most, it is taking that static charge out of all that stuff out of the air that I'm breathing in, falls to the ground, and therefore my air is cleaner. It's also going to kill any bacteria that's in the air. So any of those viruses that are floating, the bad smells from just bacterias, it's going to kill that as well. The great thing about our lamps, and what most people don't realize, you can get a real salt lamp and a fake salt lamp. A lot of places now, unfortunately, are catching on to the trend of salt lamps, and they are taking a rock salt, compacting it together, man-made, and calling it a salt lamp. Because of that, I mean, it's still going to work a little bit, but it's not as high quality, so it's not going to deliver as many negative ions, and unfortunately, they're going to sweat, they're going to break down, they're going to crack, and they're only going to last a couple years. If you actually get a real Himalayan salt lamp from the Himalayan mountains, we get ours from the very back of the cave, so they are the most compact and put together, and these are going to last a lifetime. They have been in a cave for millions of years, they're not going anywhere. And because they're so mineral rich and so compact, they are able to do 1 square foot radius away from the lamp per pound. So the heavier it is, the bigger of a room it'll cover. So something like this will cover like a small desk, to where some of our larger ones will cover a whole living room. So depending on what your needs are, we can accommodate that. Another great thing about our lamps is that we actually offer a gray and a white salt. Most people have never seen them, and there's a reason for that. The Himalayan mountains, when they were formed, is old ancient ocean water that has been dried up to form the mountains. Well, the way they were formed, 95% of that mountain range is a pink salt. It's just the way the minerals have deposited. Lucky for us, there's a small portion that actually deposited different minerals in a different way, and it gave us a gray color. It's really neat. It's medicinally, it's the same. It's doing the same thing for you. But the gray ones tend to be darker. So if you're putting them in a bedroom and you don't want that light in your face, the gray is a really good option, because then you have a dim light, and some have no light, so it won't affect your sleep at all. And we have access to the gray ones. They're very hard to get and very hard to obtain just because of the location they're in. But we were able to get some for you